Welcome back to Who Needs a Superhero, Chapter 13, Captain America, Shielded from Sorrow. This is Part 4, The Invisible Edges. What if God shields us far more often than we realize? At the drop of a hat, many people can recite a catalog of bad things that happen to them. But can we list the bad things that didn't happen to us? Last summer, my daughter and I visited Scotland and Wales. I made several trips to Great Britain and well aware of how the traffic flows there. But one afternoon in Edinburgh, my mind must have been in neutral. I stepped off the curb into a busy downtown traffic while looking in the wrong direction. In the best cartoon tradition, it was nearly pancaked by a speeding double-decker bus. As I struck one foot into the street, my daughter screamed, the bus horn blared, and I came as close to dying as I can ever recall. I teared off balance while the bus blew past me, whipping my hair and nearly brushing my outstretched fingers. A difference of 2 inches or 2 seconds could have turned a summer holiday into a brutal tragedy. Of course, I can't prove that God grabbed my sleeve that day, but I can't deny it either. Once my heartbeat returned to normal, I found myself wondering how many times God has yanked me out of the line of fire without my knowing it. The wobbly ladder that didn't fall, the infection that didn't take hold, the slip of ice that has left me bruised instead of paralyzed. Such things are in the realm of what if. And we mere mortals have no windows into that domain. For all we know, God intervenes for our protection dozens of times every day. The Spectre is one of the most powerful beings in the superhero world. An earthbound spirit working for God on the mortal plane. Created by Jerry Siegel, one half of the creative team that dreamed up Superman. The Spectre had adventures ranging from cosmic to mundane. Sometimes the Spectre judged whole planets. At other times he moved invisibly and silently behind the scenes in ordinary events. Some of the Spectre's most humorous stories involve the unseen spirit of helping a commercial inept detective, the bumbling cop, survive deadly attacks and solve crimes thanks to lucky breaks and coincidences. He never knew that a powerful guardian tinkered with his daily life, shielding him from danger and guiding him towards success. Neither can we always detect God's hand at work in our lives. One day while sitting at my kitchen table, I noticed a praying mantis inside my windowsill, apparently carried in with some garden vegetables. The attention of the mantis was fixed on an ant. On the other side of the window, the ant crept innocently along on the glass on the outside, while the mantis stalked it on the inside. Again and again, the mantis lunged for the ant, but only to bounce off the glass. Eventually, the ant disappeared from view, and the forlorn mantis stared after it in perplexity. I wonder how many times I have been that oblivious ant while God shielded me from danger I never suspected. I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you, Jesus promised in John 14, verse 18. Given that maybe the essence of God's protection is the promise of God's presence. God may not always stand between us and the storm, but at the very least, God will always stand beside us through the storm. The abiding presence of the Lord allows us to grow into our strength, gives us someone to lean on when our strength is insufficient. A friend told me about hitting the bottom some years ago. His wife had left him because he was an addict. Late at night, my friend went to bed in an empty house, but he couldn't sleep. Overcome by grief, loss, and self hatred, he lay in the dark weeping. He squeezed his pillow and pressed it into his chest. Somehow he got the notion that his pillow was God's little finger, and he wrapped himself around that pillow and held on for dear life. He decided that if God was with him, maybe he could make it through the night. I was lost in the dark, he said, but I survived because I knew I wasn't alone in the dark. Surely I am always with you, Jesus promised in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. If Jesus went to the cross for us, he is strong enough to walk beside us through any fire. He will hold our hand in the deepest waters. Life can lay us low, but there is no hell in which Christ would ever forsake us. It's like the scene in that humorous image series called Ball and Chain, where a husband and wife gain superpowers, but with one catch. Their powers only work when they are together. Our experience as Christian is similar. In trying times, we discover that the nearness of Christ gives us far greater strength than we could ever muster alone. That is the end of part 4. Stay tuned for part 5, the conclusion, shielding from sorrow. And remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, share, and of course, comment. Have a great and wonderful day. Bye for now. God bless.